Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. I'm Morris Fabry alongside my partner Sugar J. Jeremy Parks, and we are coming to you live from Alumni Field to bring you this matchup between the Wolverines and the Indiana Hoosiers. In the circle for the Wolverines today, number 3, Megan Betza. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about Megan Betza. What should we expect out of her today?
Absolute dominance has been the standard for Megan Betza so far this season. Coming in with a .48 ERA, she's 18-4 in 27 appearances. She's pitched in over half of the Wolverines games. She threw a no-hitter the other day in Rutgers, then turned around, came back and did it yet again on her birthday. And it's just been absolute dominance for Megan Betza. She has shown utter control over everything, blowing by hitters with her incredible speed, and she is one of the most dominant pitchers at the moment in women's college softball. So she's going to be the player to watch and the key for the Wolverines today as they get going in this 3-game set against the Hoosiers.
191 strikeouts in 127 innings pitched for Megan Betza. Truly incredible. And the lineup she will be facing today for the Hoosiers, leading off and playing center field, is Rebecca Blitz. Hitting second and playing second base, Erin Lehman. Hitting third and left field, Shannon Cawley. Hitting fourth and playing catcher, Kelsey Dotson. Hitting fifth, the designated player, Caitlin Canena. Hitting sixth, the right fielder, Michelle Huber. Hitting seventh, playing first base, Karamia Cerigos. And hitting eighth, playing shortstop, Taylor Uden. And hitting ninth at third base, Rachel O'Malley. We're about underway. Rebecca Blitz at the plate. The first pitch from Betza off the plate outside. The home plate umpire, Leah Bowen, did not go up with the right hand there. So a 1-0 count to start this game. Your umpires today, Leah Bowen behind the plate, Laura Head at first base, and Brian Haraberta at third. The second pitch from Betza is swung on and golfed high and foul over the screen and out of play. Count even at 1-1. Rebecca Blitz is hitting .338 on the year for Indiana, also second on the team in walks with 15. Actually, she's fourth on the team, my mistake. The 1-1 pitch, check swing, fouled high and over the screen, again out of play. Betza ahead in the count 1-2.
And one of the big keys to Megan Betza's dominance is her ability to get ahead of hitters in the count, and she's done that here with the first batter of the game, getting up 1-2.
Betza looks in, winds the 1-2 pitch, taken high and outside for a ball. Catcher Lauren Sweet had to rise out of her crouch to grab that one. The count now even at 2-2 on Blitz.
And one of the biggest advantages of getting ahead in the count is being able to climb the ladder like that with something out of the zone and attempt to elicit a poor swing.
The 2-2 pitch, off speed, called, strike 3 on the outside corner. Megan Betza rings up Rebecca Blitz, and 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines.
Absolute control there. Definitely tried to climb the ladder on a few pitches, came up high with a couple, but at the end of the day was able to bring it back into the zone and paint her corners and look for that all day for Megan Betza.
Now in the box, the righty, Erin Lehman. The first pitch to her from Betza is an off-speed pitch in there for a called strike on the outside corner. That one about thigh high, and Lehman probably looking fastball. Just let that one go by.
Betza obviously with the speed like no other, but can also work her off-speed stuff just as well. The 0-1 pitch to Lehman is high and outside. Came in with the fastball there. Wasn't able to keep it down in the zone, and the count now evens at 1-1 on Lehman. Lehman is hitting .337 on the year. Similar stats to her predecessor in the lineup. A little more pop in this bat, though. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. Betza again came in with the fastball off the outer edge. Lehman reached out and was only able to make a little bit of contact on it. Ahead in the count again. Look for Megan Betza to get Lehman here to chase on something out of the zone.
Betza looks in, winds the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. A fastball high, shoulder high, out of the zone. But Lehman went after that high cheese, and you said it. Betza got her to chase one. Maybe in her comfort zone at the plate, but exactly where Megan Betza wanted to put it.
And even if it is in the comfort zone, it's terribly difficult for hitters facing Megan Betza because of that unbelievable speed that she possesses with the fastball.
Not a lot of distance between pitching rubber and home plate, and Betza covers that distance as well as anyone. Her first pitch now to Shannon Cawley is a called strike on the outside corner about belt high. Looked like she took a little bit off of her fastball there and located it well. Cawley hitting .338 on the season. Sounding like a broken record at this point, but a lot of similarities in the stat lines. The 0-1 pitch from Betza is off speed, taken low for ball 1, and the catcher Lauren Sweet goes out to have a little bit of a conference with Betza in the circle.
Perhaps planning a pitch or two to throw here after the meeting, maybe planning on where they want to put it in the zone. It also appears as though home plate umpire Laura Head was off for a second to check her mask.
Yeah, clearly Betza not in any danger right now, but Cawley, one of the two Indiana Hoosiers with over 5 home runs. Cawley with 9 home runs on the year, followed by Kelsey Dotson, the catcher, who has 10. The 1-1 pitch to Cawley is a fastball taken low and away for ball 2. Count now 2-1 on Shannon Cawley.
And now behind in the count, look for Betza to come back with the heat in the zone. Terribly difficult to catch up to, and an even better pitch to locate.
Betza looks in, gets the sign. The 2-1 pitch to Cawley is off speed, swung on and missed. Jeremy, you were looking fastball, and so was Shannon Cawley. Megan Betza switched it up and pulled the string there.
Well, that just shows you how good Megan Betza is at reading sports minds there. Couldn't even catch up to that off speed, could Cawley.
The 2-2 pitch now. Betza winds, delivers, high fastball. Cawley lets it go by. The count now full on the senior Shannon Cawley. Betza tried to climb the ladder there, but Cawley not tempted. Cawley is standing in the box with a wide stance, not up toward the front nor toward the back, staying in the middle of the box. She faces the 3-2 pitch and swings on it and fouls it back to the screen. That one in the dirt. Betza probably got bailed out of ball 4 on that one.
Good work by Cawley there. Still protecting the plate. Obviously, that was a little bit low, but at the same time, it is her job to protect the plate with 2 strikes on her, and she got that just a tiny nick of that one to stay alive.
Betza looks in. Again, the 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Megan Betza strikes out the side. Got her there with another off-speed pitch over the outer edge. Shannon Cawley helpless there, and the Wolverines will head into the bottom of the first inning. Still in a scoreless tie. Dominant performance by Betza so far.
Dominant performance by Betza so far, and again and again and again. 191 strikeouts coming into this game, already up to 194 after striking out the side. It would be hard to think that she doesn't break 200 on the season today if she continues to pitch like that.
Yeah, and she's not exactly facing an impotent lineup. Indiana's first 6 hitters in the order, in fact, are all hitting over 300. Next inning, she'll be facing Kelsey Dotson, Caitlin Canena, and Michelle Huber. Canena, in particular, is hitting 438 on the season. So, if she can keep overpowering them with stuff like that, it's hard to imagine those stats will even matter. So, now the Wolverines with a chance to take their bite at the cherry on the circle for Indiana today is Laura Olson. Tell us a bit about Olson, Jeremy.
Well, Olson has pitched in all but 3 games for the Hoosiers this season. She's appeared 39 times in 42 games, and because of that, she has an insane win-loss column of 10-20, and just a product of being one of the only arms for this Hoosiers team. She's been fallen back on in every difficult situation, and every time she starts, it seems as though she gives up a couple runs as well, coming in with an ERA of 6.11. But again, this Indiana Hoosiers team is a good hitting team. They produce a lot of runs, but at the same time, give up a lot of runs on the defensive side of things. Big highlight of that, giving up 21 runs to the Maryland Terrapins in a 21-8 game 2 weeks ago in College Park. But that's just an example of the high run affairs that the Hoosiers are used to here. And the arm of Olson has been behind a lot of those runs given up.
Well, yeah, Olson, despite appearing in 39 games, only has 5 complete games. So I think it's safe to say we're going to see some other pitchers today coming out of the pen for Indiana, especially against a lineup like the Wolverines. If Indiana planned on a high-scoring affair, it might be a bit of a one-sided high-scoring affair given the success of Megan Betza and how dominant this Wolverines lineup has been so far. Olson now faces Sierra Lawrence leading off for the Wolverines. Olson looks in, gets the sign. The first pitch to Lawrence is a fastball right over the middle of the plate for a called strike. Lawrence letting that go by.
And I think one of the most outstanding or surprising things, not necessarily outstanding, on Olson's stat line, she's given up 184 runs in 167 1/3 innings pitched, so averaging over a run an inning.
The 1-0 pitch is a fastball off of the outer edge. Lawrence lets that one go by. Good eye at the plate. The count now even at 1-1 on Lawrence, who is hitting 388 on the year. Olson looks in, taking her time on the mound, trying to throw off the timing of Lawrence. Now winds and delivers. That pitch taking a ball off the plate, maybe outside, maybe a bit high. Count now 2-1 on Lawrence.
Definitely look for the Wolverines hitters to work the pitch count early and often every opportunity that they get. Not a team to swing on a lot of first pitches.
2-1 pitch to Lawrence is swung on and hit high into shallow right field, and the catch is made out there by Michelle Huber, the right fielder for the Indiana Hoosiers. 1 up, 1 down for Laura Olson on the mound, and that will bring up Sierra Romero, average down to 490 on the year.
Down to 490.
Yeah, she has been incredible for the Wolverines. The on-base percentage still at 665. She will be followed by Kelly Christner and Kelsey Susala, assuming she can get on base and assuming the inning goes that long. Olson winds. The first pitch to Romero is a fastball on the outer edge for a called strike. Good frame there by catcher Kelsey Dotson, as that one looked like it was borderline.
One of the most outstanding moments from Sierra Romero this season was a home run that crossed out of Alumni Field and into center field at Ray Fisher Stadium across the yard. An absolute bomb.
The 0-1 pitch is off speed, off the plate outside. Romero gets it, lets it go by, and that's a place where a lot of pitchers try to put Sierra Romero. They try to nibble on that outside corner with very little success so far this season. And it would be one thing if she were the solitary contributor in this lineup, but behind her stands Kelly Christner in the batting box, and Christner has 17 home runs on the year, leading the team. The 1-1 pitch to Romero is grounded hard toward third. Lunging stab by the third baseman, O'Malley. She throws over to first and gets Romero by a couple steps. Fantastic defensive play to keep Sierra Romero off the bases. She absolutely scalded that one.
Rachel O'Malley flashes the quick leather at the hot corner. The second that ball was hit, it seemed like her glove was already down into the dirt to scoop it up, but that was an absolute laser from Romero, and good play by O'Malley to grab that and get a good cross diamond throw for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, they call it the hot corner for a reason. Lauren O'Malley with an incredible play right there. So now Christner steps up to the plate. The first pitch she sees is grounded hard on one hop over to second base. Layman Fields tosses it over to first, and the potent 1-2-3 punch in the Wolverines lineup goes down 1-2-3. Haven't seen a base runner through the first inning. We'll head into the top of the second inning in a scoreless tie here at Alumni Field.
And definitely one of the most potent 1-2-3 combinations in college softball, but perhaps a little zealous to start off the game there with the exception of Sierra Romero, or with the exception of Sierra Lawrence, both Sierra Romero and Kelly Christner swinging on some early pitches, not really taking time to see what it was that Olson was offering, and perhaps that was something to do with the ineffectiveness of those hits.
This Wolverines lineup, never afraid to let pitches go by and take walks, at least in the games that we've seen. It'll be interesting to see if the approach changes as we move on in this game. It's an absolutely beautiful evening here at Alumni Field. The sun still up in the sky behind some clouds now, behind the grandstand on the third base side. Alumni Field is as packed as I have seen it. Even the bleachers out in right field are about half full. The stands in front of us and behind the plate are just filled with people. And I don't think you could have picked a better day to come out and see a ball game.
One of the first true spring days here in Ann Arbor. It was 75 and sunny all day long, and that's brought the fans out to the ballpark to watch one of the most highly touted softball teams in the nation. Coming in ranked 4th are the Michigan Wolverines, and these fans are coming out in droves to support them tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely a team that has been, at least for me, fun to support, fun to watch and follow. It's been a very rewarding experience. On the other side of the Will Pond Athletic Complex, the baseball game between Michigan and, I believe, Iowa. Purdue, should be nearing its close. Michigan was winning that one 5-2 last we checked. But back to this game, Dotson up at the plate. Betza's first pitch to her is a fastball high and out of the zone. Dotson lets it go by for ball 1. Kelsey Dotson hitting .330 on the year with 10 home runs. Betza looks in. The 1-0 pitch to Dotson, off speed in the dirt. Betza has not been hesitant to go with the off-speed pitch behind in the count, but now she falls further behind 2-0.
Well, and I think once she falls behind on some of the off-speed stuff, if it's not necessarily where she wants it to be, we've seen Megan Betza come back with that insane heat every single time.
The 2-0 pitch off speed right over the heart of the plate. Dotson keeps the bat on her shoulder. The count now moves to 2-1.
And again, shows how much I know. Every time I'm looking fastball, she comes back with the off speed.
Jeremy thinking in line with these hitters who have been clueless so far. The 2-1 pitch from Betza, fastball way up and out of the zone. Sweet has to get out of her crouch to grab that one. The count now 3-1 on Kelsey Dotson.
But one of the blessings of being as dominant as Megan Betza is the ability to go high and low in the zone and not have to worry about climbing the ladder or bringing something down in the dirt, because you know you can come back with a great control.
The 3-1 pitch, a fastball high, not quite as high as the last pitch, but still about chest high out of the zone. Dotson lets it goes by and trots down to first base. And Indiana has the leadoff batter on. Now up steps Caitlin Canena, who has gradually assumed a bigger role for this Indiana team. She's only played in 17 games this year, only started 8, but she is hitting .438, and that'll get you in a lot of lineups. Betts' first pitch to the righty Canena is a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike.
And look for Betza to try and get something a little bit more low here and have Canena get on top of it and potentially ground into a double play.
Canena, the junior, has 4 home runs in her 17 appearances. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled high out of play behind home plate. Betza climbed the ladder with the fastball. Canena tried to reach that pinnacle with her, but unable to do more than just golf it over the screen. Betza now ahead in the count, 0-2. She looks in, working quickly, winds the 0-2 pitch. Just missed off the plate outside. The crowd wanted that one, as did Lauren Sweet. Turned around and had a quick word with home plate ump Leah Bowen.
I think half the crowd within Alumni Stadium thought that was, in fact, a strike. Close call.
Betza looks in, the 1-2 pitch now swung on and missed. Strike 3. Betza has recorded 4 outs in the circle today, and all 4 have been via the strikeout.
5 more, and she's at 200 for the season. Just a crazy amount of strikeouts, past Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens' pace.
It defies adjectives, it does. Now Michelle Huber up to the plate for Indiana. The first pitch she sees is a fastball high above the belt, taken for ball 1. That one close to the top of the strike zone, but home plate ump Leah Bowen does not oblige. Corners playing in for the Wolverines. Middle infield at about double play depth. Outfield at normal depth here. The 1-0 pitch to Huber is an off-speed pitch taken off the plate outside. The count, again, 2-0 now on Michelle Huber.
And I think tonight so far we haven't really seen Betza get ahead in the count as much as we're used to seeing. But at the same time, it hasn't really mattered for her. She's come back every single time.
She definitely had more success doing so in the first inning. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off of the shin of Huber. She was way out in front of that off-speed offering. Over at first base, Kelsey Dotson, not much of a threat to run. She is 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts on the year. Wolverines outfield playing at about normal depth. The wind was pretty rapid to start the game, but has died down a bit, moving from left to right. Betts looks in. The 2-1 pitch is a fastball low out of the zone. Huber couldn't have done anything with it if she swung, so she lets it go by. The count now 3-1 on the junior Huber. With a 3-1 count, Huber will be able to try to wait on a pitch of Betza's and swing on it if it's in her happy zone. The 3-1 pitch from Betza. Fastball swung on, fouled over the screen. That one up in the zone and in on the fists of Michelle Huber.
And she was pretty late on that swing, too. Very lucky to fight that off inside on the hands and work it back behind the netting.
Betza will face her second full count of the inning so far. With 1 out and 1 on, Betza gets the sign, looks in, the windup, and the pitch. Fastball just off the plate inside. Huber was halfway down to first. The Wolverines wanted Bowen to go up with the right hand, did not oblige. And that puts 2 on with 1 out for Karamia Tsirigos.
And 2 walks in this inning as Megan Betza in a bit of an awkward position with runners on first and second and 1 out. But luckily, the lowest average hitter on the Hoosiers is stepping up to the plate, and Tsirigos is only hitting a .198 this year.
Tsirigos has played 34 games, started in 28. She is the first baseman today for the Hoosiers, and she's going to have to wait a little bit before stepping into the batter's box against Betza because they're having a brief conference at the mound. I think that's Carol Hutchins out there talking with Betza.
And the battery down there.
That has been confirmed. Hutchins having a quick word with Betza and Lauren Sweet, the infielders, meeting Indiana on-deck batter as well as Tsirigos meeting with their coaches, just going over the game plan here with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the second inning. The lights are on here at Alumni Field, but that sun's still far from setting. Betza looks in. The first pitch to Cerrigos is an off-speed pitch in the dirt. Good block by Sweet, but that is ball one on Cerrigos.
A little bit of drop-off in command here in the second frame for Megan Betza. I haven't really seen her come into the zone that much. She's been working a lot outside of the entire zone.
The 1-0 pitch now from Betza is a fastball taken high out of the zone. Cerrigos stands tall in that batter's box with a very open stance. Almost no bend to her knees. A little difficult to see whether she would be able to uncoil and unload in time to hit a fastball with the speed of Betza. Betza winds, delivers the 2-0 pitch, an off-speed pitch. Breaking ball taken low for ball three. So Betza behind 3-0 on Cerrigos, uncharacteristically in a little bit of trouble of her own making here in the top of the second.
Perhaps just a moment to take a breath and try and find the strike zone again. It's been 6 pitches since she's found it.
Betza taking her time, gathering herself, readies the 3-0 pitch is a fastball over the plate, about belt high. Cerrigos thought that might have been ball 4 high, but she wasn't going to swing regardless. Bowen goes up with the right hand. The count now 3-1 on Karamia Cerrigos. Betza looks in, gets the sign. Wines delivers the 3-1 pitch to Cerrigos. Is swung on, grounded softly towards short, and there is an interference on the play. Ramirez could not handle it, but she was interfered with by Dotson running from second to third, and as a result, Dotson out on the play. There was no danger of a double play, so they will give Cerrigos first base, and on to second goes Michelle Huber, but I think it's safe to say Michigan might have caught a little bit of a break there.
Well, Dotson was for sure trying to get in the way of Ramirez, and an obvious interference call, easy for the third base umpire, Brian Heriberta. But at the same time, again, no threat of a double play, so really just an out, and regardless, it would have been a throw out at third.
Yeah, well, perhaps Ramirez would have gone to second or even to first base. I don't think that helped Indiana in any way. Now up steps Taylor Uden. The first pitch is lined softly toward the hole between second. Romero goes over, tries to field it, bobbles it. The ball trickles away from her toward the outfield grass. That's going to be an error, in scoring all the way from second base is Kelsey Dotson. So that was a tough play for Romero, ranging far to her left, but one that she obviously would have liked to have made. And as a result, Indiana takes an early lead here in the second inning.
Just a little bit too much English on it for Romero to handle. A lot of spin on that one, bouncing into the all-dirt infield, and caught her to the right a little bit and couldn't handle it.
That'll bring up the freshman Rachel O'Malley. Betza winds and delivers. The first pitch to O'Malley is a fastball, belt high over the middle for a called strike one. O'Malley also stands tall in the box, a very quiet stance. Bat almost rests on her shoulder as she waits for the 0-1 pitch from Betza. Betza looks in, winds, delivers, and it's a fastball. Check swing. They appeal down to first. To between second and first, and Laura Head rules that she went around. Count now 0-2 on Rachel O'Malley. O'Malley hitting .276 on the year, trying to get something done for Indiana here with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Betza looks in, the 0-2 pitch. Fastball just off the plate outside. Another borderline pitch that Betza did not get the benefit of, and the count now 1-2 on O'Malley.
Leah Bowen at home plate showing that she's going to have a very conservative strike zone this evening.
Betza takes her time. O'Malley holds that bat out in front of her. Betza winds. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and popped up high in foul territory over the Indiana dugout. It'll bounce off of the Indiana dugout and into the crowd. O'Malley able to find the stands with that foul fly, and will again get a chance to hit against Betza with a 1-2 count. Outfield shaded at about normal depth. Not too worried about the running threat of Karamia Cerrigos on second base. Betza looks in, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch off the plate and low. O'Malley had no chance at it, and Betza works her way out of the jam without any further damage, but does give up the 1 run on the Romero error, and that'll take us to the bottom of the second inning with the Michigan Wolverines trailing the Hoosiers 1-0.
Definitely a bit of an uncomfortable inning from Betza there. Had a lot of trouble finding the strike zone, and in my opinion, pretty lucky to get out with minimal damage, just 1 run given up. And a fielding error from Romero didn't help the situation, but I think at the end of the day, it came down to Betza throwing too many balls in that inning. Just couldn't find where she needed to put it.
Yeah, Betza still has yet to allow a hit on today's game, and while you would expect Romero, who's pretty slick with the leather, to make that play more often than not, still would have been harmless if Betza didn't put on the runners to begin with. The Wolverines will try to mount a rally. I never really listed the Wolverines lineup, but anyway, hitting this inning will be Kelsey Susala. She's playing right field. She'll be followed by Lauren Sweet, the catcher. Lindsay Montemorano is sixth in the order. She's playing third base. She'll be followed by Tara Blanco, who's playing first. Aiden Falk, the designated hitter, hitting eighth for the Wolverines. And ninth, the shortstop, Abby Ramirez, who is, I believe, the recent Big Ten Player of the Week. She had a couple homers in the series sweep of Rutgers last weekend. Not really something you would expect from Ramirez, who is more of a slap hitter than anything else, but she got a hold of him and drove him a long way, I guess.
Well, she hit 2 home runs, but they were her only 2 on the season, so there's a reason that teams were playing her as they were to that point, but I guess Abby Ramirez a force to be reconsidered as a power hitter these days.
Yeah, maybe the scouting report might be adjusted for these teams. Now Susala steps up to the plate. Kelsey Susala hitting .393 on the year with 9 home runs, 41 RBI. Laura Olson recorded a 1-2-3 inning in the first, looking to do the same again here in the bottom of the second inning. Olson winds. The first pitch to Susala is a called strike fastball at the knees on the inside corner. Susala let that one go by and is behind in the count now 0-1.
And if you're Olson, you know that you got a nice 1-run pad from your offense, but you also know that you can't underestimate this Wolverines offense one bit. One of the hardest hitting teams in the country.
The 0-1 pitch by Olson bounces about 10 feet in front of the plate. Susala not tempted by that one, an off-speed pitch that maybe came out the hand of Olson a bit wrong. The count now 1-1. Outfield has Susala shaded a little bit deep, mostly normal depth for all the fielders now. The 1-1 pitch to Susala is a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike.
A good pitch there from Olson. Found the edge she was looking for, and home plate umpire Leah Bowen rang her up.
The count now 1-2 on Susala, who will have to adopt a bit more of a defensive approach at the plate. Olson winds, delivers the 1-2. Susala swings and lines one into left center field. That one's going to drop for a base hit. Susala takes a wide hit and will head over to second base as the left fielder Cauley bobbled that one going over to cut it off from the wall. A leadoff. I think they're going to give her a double for Kelsey Susala.
It looked like Susala was looking double all the way. She didn't even peek into center field when that ball was bobbled. She was already rounding first, and heads up base running by her.
Would have been a very tough play to come up after running horizontally into the gap to come up and throw a strike over to second base. So a nice piece of hitting by Susala to lead off the inning for the Wolverines. Now up to bat, the lefty Lauren Sweet. Olson's first pitch to Sweet is a fastball off the outer edge outside. Susala, not much of a threat to run down there at second base, only has 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts on the season. Count 1-0 on Lauren Sweet, the catcher, who is hitting .320 on the year. Sweet also has 8 home runs and 37 RBI. Olson winds, delivers the 1-0 pitch, a fastball off the outer edge outside. The catcher, Kelsey Dotson, tried to frame that one, but Bowen calling a tight strike zone both ways. The count now 2-0 on Lauren Sweet. Fans continuing to trickle in here at Alumni Field. Olson winds, delivers. Fastball again, misses the plate outside, and Olson does have a free base down there at first base, but I don't know if she wants to put another runner on with Monty Morano waiting on deck.
I don't think you ever want to put another runner on. However, I don't think she's going to be that hard-pressed to find the strike zone here.
Olson winds, delivers to Sweet. It's an off-speed pitch off the plate outside. Sweet actually took a step back in the batter's box as Olson was winding up to deliver that pitch. Maybe a bit of a distraction, but either way, the pitch did not find the strike zone, and that'll bring up Lindsay Montemorano with runners on first and second and no outs. Montemorano hitting .256 on the year, has split time down at the hot corner with Taylor Swearingen, but in the games that I've seen her hit, she's shown a lot of pop in that bat.
Quick meeting on the circle between Dotson and Olson, talking strategy about how to attack Montemorano here, perhaps try and draw a double play ball.
Montemorano has a lot of power to the left center field gap, to all the gaps, really. looking to deposit another one there in this at-bat. Olsen readies, looks in. The windup, the first pitch to Montemurano is off of her elbow. It hit her. Montemurano trots down to first base. Luckily, she was wearing that elbow guard. The ball made a bit of a clack as it hit her.
I think some of the fans thought it might have tapped her bat. It made a very odd noise coming off of her elbow because of the plastic pad she had on her elbow.
And that will load the bases for Tara Blanco. Blanco has appeared in all but one of the Wolverines games on the season. She's started in 40 out of 44 and now running for Lauren Sweet. Down at second base is number 8, Nikki Wald. Sweet, the catcher, going to utilize the extra time to go prepare her gear so that the Wolverines are ready to start the top of the third when that comes around. But judging by the way that they've started the inning, that might take a while.
No outs recorded yet. Coming back to the start of this lineup.
Blanco will get ready to step into the batter's box once Indiana is done meeting. She is followed by Aiden Falk and Abby Ramirez, and then comes the top of the order yet again for the Wolverines. Infield shaded in for the Hoosiers. Probably a risky decision given that it's only the bottom of the second, and Blanco, a formidable hitter at home plate, hitting .270 on the year with 4 homers and 32 RBI.
Anything Blanco gets under could be dangerous here.
Olsen looks in, delivers. The first pitch to Blanco is a called strike fastball at the knees on the outer edge. Nothing Blanco could do with that good spot there from Olsen. Olsen taking a couple steps back, gathering herself, getting ready to deliver. Here with the bases loaded and no outs to Tara Blanco. The 0-1 pitch, fastball off the plate outside for ball 1. The count now even at 1-1 on Tara Blanco.
3 ducks on the pond, as they say. See what Blanco can do here in an attempt to bring any of them home.
Infield in, outfield at normal depth. The 1-1 pitch to Blanco is swung on and grounded softly towards shortstop. The ball is bobbled, and there will be no play made. That was Uden charging, maybe looking to cut a runner down at home plate. Though Blanco hit that softly enough, I'm not sure she would have made the play, even if she had come up and fielded it cleanly. Regardless, on the error, Michigan ties the game at 1, still with the bases loaded and no outs, and up steps the lefty, Aiden Falk.
Well, we've seen some struggles with the leather on both sides of the ball so far tonight. It was originally Sierra Romero, and now we've had 2 odd attempted grabs with the glove that just didn't hold for the Hoosiers in this half inning.
And up steps Aiden Falk, ready to face Olsen. Olsen looks in. The first pitch to Falk is a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Wolverines hitters have adopted a bit more of a passive approach, letting those first pitches go by. And thus far in this inning, they've reaped the benefits. Olsen readies. The 0-1 pitch to Falk is swung on and fouled down the third base line into the screen, just over the camera well over there on the third base side.
Look for Falk to protect anything that's even close here.
Infield still in for the Hoosiers, meaning even a duck snort pop-up over second base would fall for a base hit. A lot of space between infield and outfield. The count 0-2 on Falk. Olsen readies. The pitch. Fastball taken outside for a ball. Heading toward the bullpen for Indiana is number 10, Miranda Tamayo. So we may see her in the circle sooner rather than later if this Wolverine parade of base runners continues. 1-2 count on Aiden Falk with the bases loaded and no outs. Olsen looks in, gets the sign. Winds up, delivers a fastball just off the plate outside. Falk thought about going after that one, decided against it, and the count even at 2-2.
A good eye there again from Aiden Falk, really working this pitch count. And the Wolverines are one of the best teams in the country at knocking starting pitchers out of the game early and often.
Olsen winds. The 2-2 pitch to Falk is swung on and lofted down the left field line. That one tailing, and it will bounce in foul territory and fall near the batting cages out beyond left field. The left fielder Cauley gave chase, but could not reach that one before it found the turf out there down the left field line. So Falk keeping the at-bat alive. The count still 2-2 here in this 1-1 baseball game in the bottom of the second. Olsen takes her time, working slowly. Winds, delivers the 2-2 pitch to Falk, is swung on and fouled back off of the backstop right in front of some fans who flinched at that rocket coming off of Falk's bat. Falk was late on that one, lucky to get aluminum on it, and keeps the at-bat alive again at 2-2.
Again, working this pitch count really high. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat.
Olsen looks in. The 2-2 pitch is swung on in line. Base hit into center field. That one's going to drop. Rounding third is Montemurano. She will stop and head back over to third base. But scoring on the play is the catcher Lauren Sweet, and that makes it 2-0. Bases still loaded with 2 outs. Great at-bat there by Aiden Falk.
What a good at-bat by Aiden Falk. Definitely got down in the count 0-2 to start, worked it back to 2-2, waited until she saw a pitch that she liked, and she just flared that one into center field. And it looked like it was going to bring 2 around, but apparently a good arm on blitz in center field prevented them from bringing 2. But still, none out in the inning, and the bases are still loaded.
And now bases are loaded for the hero from last weekend for the Wolverines, number 1, Abby Ramirez. We have another substitution over at second base. Olivia Rich-Volsky pinch running for Tara Blanco.
Well, we'll see if the stat line holds up for Abby Ramirez's newfound power numbers.
Will the power surge carry over? The first pitch from Olsen to Ramirez is a fastball just off the plate outside. The catcher Dotson held it there for an extra beat, but could not gain the call from Leah Bowen.
Leah Bowen definitely running a tight ship in the strike zone today.
The infield still in for the Hoosiers. I still question that, but we'll see how it works out. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball called strike on the outer edge. The count now even at 1-1 on Abby Ramirez.
Good pitch from Olsen there to get herself back into the count.
Ramirez hitting 360 on the year. The 1-1 pitch to Ramirez is a fastball just off the plate outside. She's been trying to paint the black on the outer edge and has had mixed results. The count now 2-1 on Ramirez. Olsen on the rubber, looks in, taking her time, getting her sign. Raddy's delivers the 2-1 pitch to Ramirez, is swung on and fouled down the third base line off of the Indiana dugout. The count now even at 2-2 on Ramirez, who will have to adopt a defensive swing and maybe try to replicate the results of Aiden Falk's last at-bat.
And again, protecting anything close and waiting on something that she likes.
Ramirez showing bunt, probably not going to follow through on that one, though. Olsen winds the 2-2 pitches just off the plate outside. The count now full on Abby Ramirez with Sierra Lawrence waiting on deck.
Just a good mind game there from Ramirez showing bunt. Maybe throw Olsen off a little bit before she threw that pitch and work it outside.
Olsen looks in. The payoff pitch to Ramirez is swung on and grounded through the hole. A base hit on the left side. Heading in to score from third base is Montemurano. Stopping at third base is Olivia Rich-Volsky. That ball hit way too hard to score her from second base. Another RBI for the Wolverines through this drawn-in infield. They lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the second inning, and still no sign that Indiana's going to change their strategy and push their fielders back, and up steps Sierra Lawrence.
Almost some heads-up fielding in left field from Shannon Cawley. She came up with that ball the second it hit her glove as Rich-Volsky came around third with a couple of steps too many and had to slide back into third base to avoid being tagged out.
Now up steps Sierra Lawrence for the Wolverines. The first pitch from Olsen is a fastball just off the plate outside. The righty Lawrence popped out to right, I believe, in her first at-bat. Olsen throwing the 1-0 pitch to Lawrence, a fastball called strike on the outer edge. That was a close one, and the count even at 1-1.
Well, and if you're Laura Olsen, this is the last thing that you wanted to see was the top of this Wolverines lineup as you sit with a bases loaded, none out situation.
Things unraveling quickly for Olsen. The 1-1 pitch to Lawrence. Fastball just off the plate outside. Laura Olsen sinks down into a crouch. Could not believe she didn't get the benefit of that call there. And home plate Leah Bowen having a bit of a conversation over near the Indiana bench with one of the coaches.
Well, you wonder how confidently Olsen will come back at this 1-2-3 of the Wolverines lineup after handling them rather easily in the first inning. But again, a totally different situation with a bases loaded, none out.
And somebody up in the press box has a sense of humor playing the Jeopardy theme as we wait for play to resume here. Olsen back on the rubber, looks in. Winds and delivers the 2-1 pitch to Lawrence. Lawrence takes that one off the plate outside. Again, Olsen just missing her spot. Now Lawrence ahead in the count, 3-1 with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put her.
Not a place, and it's going to have to be over the plate here for Olsen.
Olsen winds. The 3-1 pitch to Lawrence swung on and popped foul down the left field line. That one's going to head out of play. Lawrence looking to turn on that one and drive it down the foul line, but a little bit too over-eager out in front of that one. The count now 3-2.
Well, at the expense of giving Lawrence something good to hit, Olsen's going to have to, again, offer something over the plate to try and keep this potential out alive.
The 3-2 pitch to Lawrence is swung and grounded toward third base, fielded over there by O'Malley. She steps on third, and that's the only play that she has to make. A run scores on the play. Nikki Bald comes in. No, I think that is Richvalski.
It was
Richvalski comes in from third base. An RBI fielder's choice ground out there by Sierra Lawrence. And the Indiana Hoosiers record their first out of the inning. Michigan still threatening with runners on first and second and 1 out, and up steps Romero. Romero 0 for 1 on today's game. Olsen winds the first pitch to Romero. Romero takes that one, a strike at the knees on the outer edge.
And I think the second time around in the order, Romero is going to take a little bit more time, maybe see a couple pitches before she takes a cut at one.
Romero's average down to 485 on the year. The 0-1 pitch from Olsen is a fastball. A lot of juice on that one. Called strike on the outside corner at the knees. Nibbling on that outside edge, and really some good pitches from Olsen under duress.
And she's rebounded after getting that ground out from Lawrence. The fielder's choice from Lawrence, I should say.
0-2 count on Romero. Olsen looks and winds and delivers a fastball low off the plate outside. Romero lets it go by, the count 1-2.
This is where Olsen has struggled earlier on in the inning after going up 0-2 in the count and allowing herself to fall back into 2-2 and 3-2 counts.
A lot of speed on the base pass for the Wolverines and Ramirez and Lawrence. So if Romero finds a hole, could be trouble. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off down the third base line. And I think Romero might have hit that one out of the dirt. That one was ready to bounce in front of home plate, somehow able to get a connection with it and keep the at-bat alive.
Well, there's adopting a defensive method at the plate, and then there's that.
Yeah, she more attacked that one. That was a pitch that was meant to be taken. The 1-2 pitch again to Romero is inside, just off the plate. Romero spun out of the way, but that was close to being called strike 3. Good location there, establishing the inside from Olsen. The count now 2-2 on Romero.
A good sell job by Romero there, spinning out of the way of a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, great location. And when you get it in on the hands, unless you're guessing fastball, not much you can do with it. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit high, foul down the right field line. And out of play, that one settling on the roof of the practice facility for the Michigan football team. Right behind us, we saw that one trickle down the roof and fall into the concession area.
Well, I tried to grab it, but it was just a little bit too far for me, Mo.
Jeremy forgot his his hand extension today.
Put a glove on my selfie stick.
The 2-2 pitch again to Romero is a breaking ball, taken high out of the strike zone. The count now full on Romero.
And here it is again after Olsen getting up in the count 0-2 has allowed herself to fall back behind, and Romero's worked it full. And things getting dicey here again.
Romero doing a great job of fouling off some pitches. The 3-2 pitch now to Romero is swung on and golfed high, deep into right field, going back, and that one is gone. A 3-run home run for Sierra Romero. Ramirez and Lawrence score. The Michigan Wolverines now leading 7-1. Huber got back, almost made it to the wall, but by the time she got there, that ball was already out of the yard. A big fly from a big player for the Wolverines, Sierra Romero.
Just got enough lift on it to get it over the gate in right field. That's going to be her 15th home run and her 54th, 55th, and 56th RBIs of the season. And a big hit there for Sierra Romero.
Yeah, it looked like Olsen had done a good job of bearing down, maybe limiting some of the damage caused by her early struggles, but Sierra Romero just exacerbated those issues by lining one out of the park over that short porch in right field. And that will bring up Kelly Christner.
Good to know you brought your dictionary here today, Mo. Exacerbates. I like it.
Oh, come on. That's a good one. The first pitch now to Christner is an off-speed pitch inside, plunks her right in the gluteus maximus, and Christner walks down to first base with a bit of a limp but a smile on her face.
She's going to laugh that one off and rub some dirt on it.
With one out, that will bring up Kelsey Susella. There is action in the Indiana bullpen, but perhaps trying to forestall the inevitable a little bit before they bring on a relief pitcher. 7-run tally for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the second.
Christner still shaking it off on first base with a little shoulder shake there.
Susella led off this inning with a base hit. The Wolverines have batted around, still only one out. The first pitch to Susella, fastball called strike on the outer edge.
Good pitch there from Olsen. Gets herself up in the count, but hopefully she doesn't fall behind yet again.
Yeah, she does have some impressive velocity on the fastball. Olsen readies the 0-1 pitch to Susella as a fastball taken high and out of the zone off the plate outside. The count now even at 1-1. Christner, while she does have some speed over at first base, not a big base stealing threat, especially not given the situation and the score right now. Olsen winds the 1-1 pitch to Susella, is swung on in line down the left field line. That ball hooking, tailing foul. Couple bounces and it ricocheted off the wall. The count now 1-2 on Kelsey Susella.
We'll see what Olsen comes with here. If she can work herself an out finally. It appears as though she only likes to throw strikes on the first couple pitches of at-bats.
To be fair, the Wolverines have done a great job of battling and fouling off some pitches that would be strike three on less formidable lineups. The 1-2 pitch to Susella, off speed, taken low out of the zone. Good eye there. Not to go fishing for that one by Susella. The count even at 2-2. Olsen tried to get Susella to pull the string, but a good eye from the right fielder keeps the at-bat alive. The count 2-2 on Susella. Olsen looks in, winds the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, fouled off down the left field side. That one bounces in the bleachers, and Susella still staying alive here with 2 strikes. Olsen not able to find that put-away pitch.
Foul ball's a prized possession here at Alumni Field, so much so that the event staff take them all away from the fans.
I mean, you got to have balls to play the game. The 2-2 pitch from Olsen to Susella. Fastball taken low and off the plate inside. The count worked full yet again by a Wolverines hitter here on Olsen, who's got to be having a nightmare experience out on the mound. Cannot put away these hitters.
Well, she's pitched a lot of innings this year. This is going to be her 170th inning of the year that she's pitched. However, struggled in a lot of them, so nothing new for her.
The 3-2 pitch is taken off the plate outside. Olsen just missed there with the fastball. Susella heads down to first. Christner down to second. Up to the plate will step Lauren Sweet, but I think we're going to see a pitching change here in the bottom of the second inning. Olsen has the ball taken from her by her coach, and I believe coming in from left field right now is
Miranda Tamayo.
number 10, Miranda Tamayo. Tell us a little bit about Tamayo, Jeremy.
Well, Tamayo had been warming herself up out in left field prior to entering the game, coming in with a 5.87 ERA. She's 4-7 on her win-loss column. She's played in 37 games as well. So playing in 37 games, Laura Olsen playing in 39 games. And the common theme for the Hoosiers is to start one and the other one gets shelled, and then you replace with the second.
That's pretty mean, Jeremy.
Well, it's a very common thing that's occurred for the Hoosiers this season. She's pitched 95 innings herself. And when you're throwing that many innings, it's a simple formula, it seems.
You know, the numbers don't lie and the record doesn't lie. Indiana coming in here on a 4-game win streak, but one that has come to a crashing halt so far. They're still only 14-28 on the year. Napoleon Dynamite is dancing on the scoreboard out in left field as the staff here trying to get the fans to get up and dance a bit, and they're loving it.
Well, you know, as Sugar J here on the broadcast team, I'm a big fan of the Candy in My Heels Tonight remix as it goes on in left field. One of the classic 2004 cult hits, Napoleon Dynamite.
Jeremy, I have never heard of that song in my life.
I've never seen this.
Obviously, I've seen Napoleon Dynamite, but I don't know how you know what that song is called.
Got candy in my heels tonight. I'm Sugar J. I got to know these things.
Yeah, I guess this is
part-time DJ.
I guess this is kind of in the job description. For those of you who are Unclear as to why we call him Sugar J. I'm going to have to clarify that. On a recent trip to Comerica Park to call the baseball game between the Michigan State Spartans and the Wolverines, Jeremy and co-WCBN member Andrew Hausman stopped at Lafayette, Coney Island for a delicious pregame meal, and Jeremy poured sugar on his French fries, and obviously we found that a little bit odd at the station, and thus a nickname was born.
Well,
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The folks down at Lafayette are deceptive. I thought it was salt.
Jeremy, a little bit salty about his mistake, and it's going to haunt him for the rest of his career here at WCBN. Stepping up to the plate now for the Wolverines after the pitching change to face Miranda Tamayo is the catcher, Lauren Sweet. Sweet with a walk in her first at-bat. Time called as a softball from the Wolverines bullpen made its way onto the field. Good alertness there by the field ump Laura had to bring that game to a pause so nobody tripped over that one on a ball in play. Still waiting for the first pitch to Sweet. Tamayo in the circle, looks in, winds. Fastball is taken off the plate outside and low. Sweet quickly ahead in the count 1-0. And I think it was a given that she was going to take that one, as the Wolverines still have yet to see what Tamayo has to offer. Tamayo looks in. The 1-0 pitch to Lauren Sweet is a fastball off the plate outside. The count now 2-0 on Sweet.
Well, Tamayo continuing where Olsen left off, struggling to find the strike zone early here in her tenure on the bump for the Hoosiers.
Tamayo winds the 2-0 pitch to Sweet. Called strike on the outside corner. That one about belt high. Tamayo has thrown exclusively her fastball thus far in the at-bat. Now Sweet with a bit of an incentive to lift the bat off of her left shoulder. The count 2-1. Tamayo looks in, delivers. Her pitch is off the plate, outside. Sweet lets it go by. The count now 3-1 on Lauren Sweet, with Lindsay Montemarano waiting on deck.
And there is a base to put Lauren Sweet. However, do you really want to load the bases again if you're Tamayo?
The 3-1 pitch is off the plate, outside.
It appears as though she does.
Dotson snaps at it with a bit of disgust with her glove motion, and the bases again juiced for the Wolverines, who have already recorded 7 runs in this inning. The only out on the inning being Tara Blanco's fielder's choice down at third base. And now up steps Lindsay Montemarano, who walked in her most recent at-bat. Actually, she took a hit-by-pitch off the elbow. The first pitch from Tamayo to Montemarano is a fastball. In there for a called strike. That one right down the middle of the plate, about belt high.
Yes, the Wolverines have gone around in the order, and then some. Montemarano was hit on the elbow in this half inning, believe it or not.
I'd say the thing that the Wolverines are shooting for now is to get around in the order twice before letting off the gas pedal. The 0-1 pitch now to Montemarano. Fastball over her head, way out of the zone. Missed with that one. Count now 1-1 on the third baseman.
It appears as though the game has ended over at Ray Fisher. Michigan looking victorious as they come off of the field.
Yep, doing the celebratory handshakes on the infield. I'd say Michigan definitely came away with that one. The count now 1-1 on Montemarano. The pitch from Tamayo just a bit high out of the strike zone there. The count 2-1 now on Lindsay Montemarano. Montemarano yet to record an official at-bat on today's game, but she has a .437 on base percentage to go with her .256 average on the year. The 2-1 pitch from Tamayo. Fastball just off the plate outside. Dotson unable to frame that one. The count now 3-1. Nowhere to put Lindsay Montemarano, with Tara Blanco waiting on deck. Infield again in for the Hoosiers. Got to question that strategy, down 6, but hey, I'm not a coach. The 3-1 pitch to Montemarano. Big swing and a miss. Montemarano looking to deposit that one maybe off the scoreboard out in left field. Almost swung out of her cleats on that one.
Big cut. Big cut.
Count now 3-2, and that is a familiar look for this Wolverines lineup here in this inning alone. The full count pitch from Tamayo swung on and hit into shallow center field, coming on hard and making the catch as the center fielder blitzed. That one not hit hard enough to advance the runner from third base, Kelly Christner. So the first unproductive out for the Wolverines in this inning.
Good work by Tamayo to come back after giving up the walk to Sweet and get her first recorded out of her tenure here.
Tamayo with the bases loaded now facing Tara Blanco, the only other Wolverine to make an out in this inning. And wouldn't that be a sad way to end it? Being the only Wolverine not to get on base in the inning.
All the more incentive to put one over the wall here, Mo.
Well, she has actually gotten on base. That's my mistake, but the only Wolverine not to record a hit or a walk. Blanco 0 for 1 on today's game. Tamayo facing her with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. The first pitch she sees is a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. Blanco looked as though she was taking all the way. Wind has picked up a little bit, still blowing more out towards center field than anything right now. The 0-1 pitch to Blanco is a fastball on the outer edge, called strike 2. So Blanco quickly behind in the count against Miranda Tamayo, who thus far has done a pretty decent job at, well, recording an out. Count 0-2 on Tara Blanco. Outfield shaded at normal depth. The 0-2 pitch, fastball way out of the zone high. Blanco ducks out of the way. The count now 1-2 on the first baseman for the Wolverines. Blanco with 4 home runs and 32 RBI on the year. And only 2 doubles. Tamayo looks in, winds. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and lofted softly into left field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. 1 run scores. Heading in from second base is Susella. A 2-run little duck snort bloop single off the bat of Tara Blanco. And the Wolverines now lead 9-1. And
again, Mo, you aren't a coach, but perhaps Indiana could have taken some advice from you there, playing in, coming back to hurt them there. As if they were playing at normal depth, I'd think that the third baseman O'Malley would have been able to backtrack that one down.
Well, you know, with 2 outs, they did back up their infielders a little bit, but that one, unfortunate for Indiana as it was not hit hard, but landed in that no man's land. Maybe they could have been shifted a little better to defend against that one. And now up steps the designated player, Aiden Falk. First pitch she sees is a fastball high and out of the zone. Falk had an RBI single on a full count in her first at-bat. She saw about 8 pitches that time. One of the many long-worked counts that eventually drove Laura Olson out of the game. Tamayo readies the 1-0 pitch to Falk is a fastball off the plate outside. The count now 2-0 on Falk.
And already Falk ahead in the count, and that means Tamayo is down in the count and battling back.
Tamayo yet again in a bit of self-inflicted trouble. The 2-0 pitch to Falk is swung on and hit high, foul, and out of play toward the left side. That one landing safely in the grass near the parking lot beyond the bleachers. We haven't seen a lot of casualties as far as vehicles go in these games, but it's definitely a possibility. The count now 2-1 on the lefty Aiden Falk. Falk's average nearing 300. She's at 297. The 2-1 pitch is a called strike on the outer edge. Another fastball there from Tamayo. Haven't seen much off-speed stuff from her, but now with the count 2-2, she has a chance to work some of that in.
Well, she needed to pull it out, and she did there. Get herself back into it 2-2.
Tamayo working quickly. Looks in the windup, the 2-2 pitch, fastball high and outside. Falk thought about going after that one, but again, the count is full on a Wolverines hitter now with 2 on and 2 outs.
And again, Tamayo's going to have to give her something to hit here.
Blanco at first base. Lauren Sweet over at second. Tamayo looks in. The full count pitch to Falk is swung on and grounded past the shortstop into center field. Scoring from second base is Lauren Sweet. Blanco heads down to second base. And that one, another RBI for the Wolverines. They have put up 10 runs in the inning. And down at shortstop, I think Uden maybe got a bit confused, thrown off by Sweet crossing her path before that ball got to her. But I think that's a play she should have made.
It definitely should have been. She didn't fade over to her left side until the ball was just a few inches in front of her, and that inability to fade over cost her.
The first pitch now to Abby Ramirez is a called strike on the outer edge. Indiana again playing the infield in, but this one just to compensate for Ramirez's speed getting down the line. The 0-1 pitch from Tamayo to Ramirez is off speed, taken high for ball 1. The count even at 1-1.
And the Wolverines have put 10 runs up in the frame now. So many that the scoreboard out in left field showing a goose egg.
Yep, they got 10 runs on 6 hits here. All coming in the bottom of the second, though. 1-1 pitch to Ramirez is off the plate inside. She takes it for ball 2. And I think maybe Uden down at shortstop, a bit confused by the path of the ball off the bat of the lefty Falk. I'm trying to make excuses, but it was just not a great play. The 2-1 pitch to Ramirez, a fastball taken high for ball 3, and the Wolverines getting closer and closer to batting around twice in the inning.
And behind in the count yet again. And I guess there is a place to put her, but then again,
why would you with Lawrence waiting on deck? The 3-1 pitch from Tamayo is swung on and lined down the left field line foul. That one bouncing off the fence right in front of a couple fans out there beyond the camera well next to Indiana's dugout. The count now full on Abby Ramirez. Falk and Blanco will be off on the pitch as they are now on first and second.
See what Tamayo's got in her arsenal here to get herself out of this long inning.
The 3-2 pitch to Ramirez is grounded softly toward first base. Fielded over there by the first baseman, Siriga. She will tag out Ramirez as she heads down the line, and that will do it for the Wolverines in the bottom of the second inning, but not before they tally. Well, the scoreboard says 0, but we know the Wolverines tallied 10 runs in the inning. They now lead Indiana 10-1 after 2.
And almost batting around the order twice. Kind of hard to believe that we're only heading into the top of the third inning here, Morris. What an offensive display.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're headed for a run rule right now, assuming that Megan Benson doesn't have a similar implosion on the circle. And I think given her experience, given her basically dominance of the game, she really has dominated the game on the circle despite giving up that run, because Indiana has not recorded any hard hits off her, hasn't recorded a hit yet.
Yeah, it's been easy sailing for Betsa pretty much all season. Hasn't really had the hard struggles that starting pitcher Laura Olson or substitute pitcher Miranda Tamayo have had for the Hoosiers. And I think when you start to get to the point where you pitch as many innings as Olson and Tamayo have for Indiana, you become very worn down. And medically, I wouldn't advise pitching as many innings as they have simply for the sake of their arms. And I think it's starting to show in some of the wear and tear with how many runs they've given up.
Jeremy Parks, WCBN's medical expert, giving his word on Indiana's deployment of their 2 pitchers.
Well, I do watch Grey's Anatomy, so I think I have some certification.
Jeremy Parks, extra qualified WCBN medical expert.
It's a great show. You should watch.
WCBN is not sponsored, nor is it affiliated with Grey's Anatomy. Leading off the inning for Indiana will be the leadoff batter, Rebecca Blitz. She one of the 3 strikeout victims for the Hoosiers back in the first inning. The Wolverines haven't made any substitutions in their field deployment yet, but I think that that's coming sooner rather than later. Betsa looks in, winds. The first pitch to Blitz is an off-speed pitch in there for a called strike, a backdoor breaking ball. Blitz helpless as she ran out of the box. Blitz, one of the several hitters that we have seen who gets a running start before she swings, obviously deprives her of some of her power.
Bit of an Ichiro Suzuki style.
Yeah, you said it. She's got no homers on the year. The 0-1 pitch from Betsa is a fastball high and out of the zone. Betsa has missed a lot high in this game. Indiana a little bit more patient than other teams we have seen about not chasing the high cheese. Betsa looks in. The 1-1 pitch to Blitz is a fastball swung on and fouled off the screen behind home plate. Michigan's infield playing in to compensate for Blitz's speed out of the box.
If you're Betsa, you're coming off of the bench after resting for nearly a half hour after that last half inning, and perhaps some of that affecting the early high stuff out of the zone, but she's ahead in the count right now, 1-2.
The 1-2 pitch to Blitz is a fastball just off the plate outside. I thought we might have seen strike 3 called right there. But yeah, for Betsa, it's essentially, kind of like a whole new game for her, and really an easy game as she has a lot of a lead to work with. The count now 2-2 on Blitz. Betsa winds, delivers, swung on and fouled high over the screen and out of the stadium behind home plate. Blitz keeping the at-bat alive. Rebecca Blitz hitting .338 on the season for the Hoosiers. Has only 2 extra base hits in 42 games. Betsa winds. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed. I'm stunned that was not called a strike. Everybody is pretty shocked Sweet turned around. Betza put her glove to her face.
$5 says she comes back with another strike here, though.
I don't know if I'm going to take you up on that one. The count now 3-2 on Rebecca Blitz. Blitz calls time, steps out of the batter's box, gathers herself a bit. Betza on the bump, readies, winds, delivers the 3-2 pitch. Fastball off the plate outside, and yet again you are wrong, Jeremy.
Well, at least you didn't bet me $5.
Yeah, we can't have that going on air. Blitz scampers down to first base. She is about the only base-stealing threat in this Hoosiers lineup. Has successfully stolen in 10 out of 14 attempts, and that will bring up Erin Lehman, who also struck out in her first at-bat. Lehman, the righty, standing up in the batter's box. The first pitch from Betza, a fastball, just misses above the belt there. Betza behind in the count 1-0 on Lehman. I can't believe that slider was not called strike 3. That was such a close pitch.
It was pretty close.
The 1-0 pitch now to Lehman. Off-speed pitch lined into left center field toward the gap. Going over to field it on a couple hops is Christner. She gets the ball in quickly, and Blitz held up at second base. But the first hit for the Hoosiers on the day has runners at first and second with no outs, and that will bring up Shannon Cawley.
Quick meeting between Lauren Sweet and Megan Betza on the mound here.
That one, an off-speed pitch by Betza that she hung up in the zone, and Lehman made her pay for it, lining one into left field. We haven't seen a lot of off-speed stuff. Well, we have seen off-speed stuff from Betza today, but she's been pretty pinpoint with it so far.
Most of the climbing the ladder pitches have come with the heater.
Now a fresh count for Shannon Cawley. She struck out in her first at-bat. The first pitch from Betza, a called strike on the outer edge at the knees. Betza came back in there with the fastball. Betza taking her time out there on the mound. Infield and outfield playing at about normal depth. Betza winds, delivers, swinging a foul off the top of the screen. It ricochets back into play behind Lauren Sweet. Betza quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. A lot of room to work with here, and a strikeout would be very valuable for the Wolverines.
That it would be.
We're trying to prevent an Indiana rally. Sure, they have a 9-run lead, but you never want to see that lead shrink. The 0-2 pitch from Betza, fastball high, taken for ball one. Sweet looked down to second base, maybe encouraging Rebecca Blitz to not take such a big secondary.
Nobody was going there, though.
No, Blitz not really a threat to steal third right now. The count now 1-2. Betza looks in, winds, delivers, swinging a high chopper through the hole on the left side. A base hit. Christner fields it and comes up throwing. Blitz stops at third base, but now the bases are loaded for the Hoosiers. Still no outs, and that will bring up the catcher, Kelsey Dotson. Betza for the second straight inning in a bit of a jam.
Like we said earlier in this game, this Indiana team is a good hitting team, and they do produce a lot of runs. But on the other hand, they give up a lot of runs as well, as we saw in the last half inning, giving up 10. But they find themselves in a good hitting position here, bases loaded, none out, taking a page out of the Michigan playbook.
Definitely prone to high-scoring games, as we have mentioned. And now with the bases loaded and no outs, the middle of the lineup about to come up for the Hoosiers. We will see another conference on the mound. Carol Hutchins talking to her pitcher, Betza. Indiana with all the base runners and hitters in a conference midway between third base and home.
And if you're Megan Betza right now, just play a little pitch and catch with Lauren Sweet. Just make your pitches where you need to make them. No rush, no hurry. You're still working with a 9-run lead.
Yeah, really, the Wolverines would sacrifice a run to record an out right here a couple times over. When you're in this kind of position, you want to prevent the big innings. You don't want to walk anybody. I think that's the last thing any Wolverine wants right now. So we're about ready to get underway. The coaches retreat to their respective positions. Dotson ready to step into the batter's box. Sweet behind the plate. Leah Bowen behind her. Dotson has her front foot turned about 45 degrees to home plate. The first pitch from Betza is a fastball off the plate inside. Dotson ahead in the count 1-0. Dotson, not a very tall hitter. Has her a pretty straight up stance, crouching with her weight more on her front foot than her back one. The 1-0 pitch from Betza as a fastball misses high. And the count 2-0 on Dotson, and Megan Betza has nowhere to put her.
That short stature belies Dotson's power. She leads the Hoosiers with 10 home runs on the season.
Dotson also with 35 RBI. That's second on the team. Betza looks in with a 2-0 count. The windup and the pitch, a fastball again misses high. Betza not able to have that same command that we have seen out of her in past outings. With a 3-0 count, a walk would drive in a run here for the Hoosiers.
Well, she's going to have to put it over the plate here, and that means giving Dotson a juicy pitch to hit.
The count is 3-0. Betza looks in, winds, and delivers a fastball right over the plate for a called strike. The count 3-1 now on Dotson.
Dotson didn't even lift the bat off her shoulder there. She was taken all the way.
Maybe would have been a smart move to give her the green light, but Betza has struggled with command. Betza winds the 3-1 pitch, fastball high, ball four. Betza not able to control that fastball and bring it down. That walk will score a run for the Hoosiers, and it will bring up Caitlin Canena, the Hoosiers' leader in batting average on the season.
Oh, that 9-run lead in danger of being ever decreased by the minute here as Betza continues to struggle to find the strike zone in this third inning.
Bases still loaded, still no outs. I got to imagine Haley Wagner will be warming up in the bullpen soon if she's not doing so already. The first pitch to Canena, a breaking ball over the plate for strike one. That one about thigh high. But Canena had to be either thinking fastball or thinking take all the way. She did not offer at that one.
You turn over from the home run leader in Dotson to the highest average on the Hoosiers at 438.
The 0-1 pitch now from Betza. Fastball grounded foul toward the Indiana Hoosiers dugouts. That one actually got between the legs of the on-deck batter, Michelle Huber. Good reflexes to get out of the way and avoid contact with that one.
Luckily, that one was rolling slowly towards her shins.
The count now 0-2 on Canena, who stands near the front of the batter's box with her weight evenly distributed. The 0-2 pitch from Betza, swing and a miss. Big-time strikeout there from Betza. Canena with an awkward one-handed cut. And the first out of the inning leaves the Wolverines still trying to unload or trying to get out of a bases-loaded jam.
A very big strikeout there for Megan Betza. Brings herself back within reach of an inning-ending double play if she gets something on the ground here.
Wolverines infield at normal depth. The first pitch to Huber is popped up down the first baseline in foul territory, and that one going to bounce off of the fence. I think that one slid along the screen as it found its way down to the field. Blanco and Romero both tracking it over toward our side of the field, but unable to get there in time. So Betza ahead in the count now on Huber. Bases still loaded. Now one out on the Hoosiers. Betza winds the 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit foul high and out of play. Betza climbed the ladder, but because she is ahead in the count now, Huber a little more inclined to chase the high cheese. That went in on the hands too. Good pitching there from Betza.
Betza's really starting to come back here. Found where the strike zone was after some struggles early on.
Huber with a bit of an open stance. The 0-2 pitch from Betza. Fastball again high out of the zone, but Huber didn't offer it that one. The count 1-2 on Michelle Huber. The wind has totally died here at Alumni Field. These lights on the field becoming a little more necessary as the sun begins to set. Betza winds the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and outside. Misses there. The count now even at 2-2.
And we'll see what Betza does here. She still has a little wiggle room to try and draw Huber into chasing something up high or down low, but it's seeming as though she's trying to climb the ladder on about half her pitches today.
Betza taking her time with this one. No reason to hurry. The 2-2 pitch to Huber swung on and missed. A breaking ball in the dirt off the plate outside, but Michelle Huber obviously thinking fastball. Chased that one. Another big strikeout for Betza, and now there's 2 outs with the bases loaded, and up steps Cara Mia Cerrigos.
Well, striking out Canena and Huber was huge for Megan Betza after sitting on the circle with bases loaded and none out after walking in the second run of the game. Big out for her there.
Cerrigo's hitting 195 on the season. Betts' first pitch, a fastball. Maybe missed high there. Tough to tell.
Perhaps a little inside.
Leah Bowen has had a pretty tight strike zone today. It has been consistent for both sides. The count 1-0 on Karamia Cerrigos. Has a very big strike zone, standing tall in the box. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and ripped foul behind home plate into the screen. Cerrigos looking to drive that one, maybe even onto Ray Fisher Stadium. A huge rip there on a fastball up in the zone.
Well, Cerrigos only batting a .198 this season, a little bit lower after producing an out in her first at bat, but she does have 4 home runs, so when she makes contact, she tends to hit it a long way.
Count 1-1 on Cerrigos. The 1-1 pitch from Betza, another fastball high. Cerrigos did not swing at that one. The count now 2-1. Betza still has nowhere to put these batters, so can't be walking anybody right now. Infield shaded at about normal depth. Both shortstop and second baseman about 5 steps from the grass. Betza winds the 2-1 pitch to Cerrigos. Breaking ball. Called strike on the outer edge. That looked very similar to a pitch of hers that missed earlier on in this inning, but got the call there.
Well, you just keep attacking that small area on the outside of the zone, and eventually Leah Bowen does concede a strike.
Count now 2-2 on Cerrigos. Betza winds, delivers, called strike 3. A fastball on the outer edge. Karamia Cerrigos had no chance at that one. Betza works her way out of a bases loaded, no out jam. Only gives up 1 run, and will head to the bottom of the third with the Michigan Wolverines leading the Hoosiers 10-2. That one could have been a lot worse.
Well, after walking in that run, it seems as though Megan Betza got a fire lit under her, and she found out where the strike zone was after about an inning and a half of really struggling to throw some strikes, and started to calm herself and started to rifle some pitches back into the zone, and it really did her some good, striking out the 3 outs that she needed in the inning.
Yeah, it really hasn't been a question so far of Indiana catching up to Megan Betza. It's been about Megan Betza catching up to herself, able to calm herself down and find play. To the Hoosiers' credit, they did have a couple of nice line drive hits in that inning as well. So we'll head into the bottom of the third inning. Michigan leading 10-2. The highlight of that last inning being Sierra Romero's 3-run homer in right field, trying to catch up with Kelly Christner, who has overtaken Romero in the home run race. Christner had, I think, 4 home runs over the course of the weekend games and the weekday game against Michigan State.
Well, the Wolverines, with enough power to knock starting pitcher Laura Olson out of the game after only an inning and a third of work. And her first 3 outs of that inning and a third were fairly easy after having a 1-2-3 first inning, and then giving way to Miranda Tamayo, who produced the last 2 outs of that 10-run hitting showcase from the Wolverines in the bottom of the second.
And you got to wonder if Tamayo can't find the plate, you know, who's coming next for these Indiana Hoosiers out of the pitchers that they have remaining, even listed on their roster. Only one of them has made 5 appearances. The rest haven't done anything. It's been, for the most part, a 2-woman show for these Hoosiers in the circle.
And like we said, it's really been start either Olson or Tamayo, and if the other one gets shelled too hard, you bring the other in. Emily Kirk would be the third pitcher who's made 5 appearances, but her ERA is north of 10 at 10.84, so you definitely want to avoid bringing her in at all costs.
Now, let me tell you, I wouldn't be shocked to see Olson come back into this game. I think we have seen stuff like that occur before. Sierra Lawrence leads off the inning for the Wolverines. The first pitch she sees, she swings on and lines back into the screen behind home plate. Looked like Tamayo maybe took a little bit off of that offering.
Well, the Wolverines will start the third inning with the top of their order, having already batted around twice in the first 2 innings.
Wolverines certainly have gotten their reps today. The 0-1 pitch to Lawrence is swung line down the third baseline, foul. Lawrence chased that one about letters high and was all over it. A little too eager to get out in front of that one, and the count now 0-2 on the center fielder, Lawrence.
And we'll see what Tamayo decides to do here. Now ahead in the count, 0-2, with a little bit of wiggle room to maybe try and draw a swing on something down low from Lawrence.
Lawrence 0-2 in today's game. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and golfed into left field. That one going back, and it'll one-hop up against the wall. Lawrence heads into second with an easy stand-up double. That one misjudged by the left fielder, Cawley. Shannon Cawley looked like he took a step in before realizing that one was headed over her head.
Well, like we said, Tamayo tried to bring something down low to Lawrence, but Lawrence took kind of a golf swing and just picked it up out of the bottom of the zone and flared it into left field off of the left field wall at about 210 feet.
And not a very hard hit ball, but
just kind of lofted itself up there.
Had some deceptive carry. Romero steps up to the plate now, and the first pitch she sees is a fastball taken high out of the zone. Romero showing bunt, and Lawrence not heading down to third, maybe just testing to see how Indiana is going to alter their defense to face a bunt.
Well, with that Sierra Lawrence double, the Wolverines bats picking up right where they left off in the second inning, dropping a 10 spot on the Hoosiers.
Tamayo's 1-0 pitch just off the plate outside. The ball trickles off of the glove of the catcher, Dotson, and bounces back out toward the pitcher. Lawrence staying rooted over at second base. She is 19 of 20 on stolen base attempts this year, but I don't see any real reason for her to take third right now. The 2-0 pitch to Sierra Romero is lined on a one-hop over to short, bobbled over there by Uden, and there will be no play. Romero into first base on the error. Lawrence stayed at second base as that ball hit a little too hard for her to try to take third.
Well, it was a hard hit shot from Romero, bounced up off of the dirt and right into the chest of the shortstop Uden, and just not a whole lot she could do with it there. The speed on it allowed it to carry up just enough off of the bounce to have a misjudged placement of the glove.
And now Kelly Christner at the plate for the Wolverines. First pitch she sees is a fastball off the edge away, and we've seen a fair share of fielding miscues for the Hoosiers in today's game. Christner, the 0-1 pitch to her is off the plate outside again. Tamayo cannot find the strike zone, and it's been a theme for Tamayo getting behind these Wolverines hitters. Olsen was getting ahead of the hitters and just wasn't able to put them away. Tamayo's not even getting ahead of them to begin with. The 2-0 pitch to Christner is a fastball. Might have been. It looks like she crossed up her catcher Dotson a little bit, who had to lunge to catch that one high and out of the zone. And Dotson out to reprimand her pitcher, having a conference at the mound.
Well, you definitely didn't want to do this against Kelly Christner. Christner proving to be one of the biggest long ball hitters on the Wolverines team. She's got 17 on the season, dropped 2 on the last weekend road trip, and she's really been scorching the ball over the fences in the last month or so for the Wolverines.
And I love the approach from Coach Hutchins to put Romero second in the order and put Christner third, getting your best hitters more opportunities rather than betting them at maybe the traditional roles that would be hitting third or cleanup. Though really, it's hard to go wrong with this Wolverine lineup. The 3-0 pitch to Christner is a fastball off the plate inside. Christner trots down to first, and the Wolverines have the bases juiced yet again here with no outs in the bottom of the third. Kelsey Susella will hit now for the Wolverines.
Just all too familiar for the Hoosiers pitchers tonight. Both Olsen and Tamayo working with bases loaded, none out. Jams here in the last 2 half innings, and that's why they dropped a 10 spot on him last inning.
Indiana still with the infield in. The first pitch to Susella, a fastball called strike over the outer edge. Good location there by Tamayo, but really the Wolverines has been taking first pitch for maybe the last inning and a half, and you can see why. The 0-1 pitch now to Susella, a fastball called strike again on the outer edge. That one about belt high. Count quickly 0-2 on Susella.
Well, the infield was playing very in, and the outfielders playing about as deep as they can, leaving a very large open band around the middle of the field.
The 0-2 pitch now to Susella, breaking ball in the dirt. Good block there by Dotson to stop that one from getting by her. Count now 1-2 on Susella, and yeah, it's practically a canyon out between the infield and outfield right now.
A lot of open space to put the ball if you're the Wolverines.
The 1-2 pitch now to Susella is swung on and missed. Susella out in front of that one. Maybe a changeup on the outside corner. And she goes down. The Wolverines still with the bases loaded, now with one out, and that will bring up the catcher, Lauren Sweet.
And that's a big out for Tamayo there. Get a little confidence back after allowing the first three to get on.
Sweet swings at the first pitch and pops that one up on the infield fly rule in effect. The catch made by the shortstop, Uden, and now the Wolverines, after loading the bases with no outs, now one out away from ending their threat.
They really squandered a good opportunity here, and obviously it's not over yet, but at the same time, you would have liked to have seen a little bit more production with a bases loaded, none out situation.
That will bring up Lindsay Montemurano looking to salvage this inning here with 2 outs and the bases juiced. Tamayo's first pitch to Montemurano, a fastball off the plate outside. Tamayo doing a good job of getting first pitch strikes to the last 2 Wolverines batters, but could not continue that trend to Montemurano. Lindsay Montemurano 0 for 1 in today's game with a walk. Sorry, a hit by pitch. The 1-0 pitch to Montemurano is off the plate inside. She lets it go by. The count now 2-0. Montemurano steps out of the box, adjusts her equipment. Ready now, Tamayo, the 2-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. The count now 2-1 on Lindsay Montemurano, who is hitting .253 on the year. Her on-base percentage at .437. Quite a disparity. The short-statured Montemurano not afraid to take a walk. The 2-1 pitch is ripped foul down the third base line as the wind from behind us has scattered our papers into the fans out in front of us. We thank them for returning them to us. The count now 2-2 on Montemurano. All over that last pitch from Tamayo, but not able to straighten it out. Infield now at normal depth for the Hoosiers with 2 outs. Tamayo looks in, winds. The 2-2 pitch to Montemurano, swung on and golfed into foul territory down the left field line, but there to make the catch is the third baseman, Rachel O'Malley. So the Wolverines load the bases with no outs here in the bottom of the third, but are unable to push a run across, and so we will head into the top of the fourth with the Wolverines leading the Hoosiers 10-2. Megan Betza will retake the circle. Has had a bit of an inconsistent go of things.
Well, towards the end of that last half inning, she really got her groove back and started to find the strike zone again, but you're right, it has been an inconsistent game for Betza, something we're not necessarily used to seeing this season, as she's been one of the most dominant pitchers in college softball.
She will face the bottom of the Hoosiers lineup in Taylor Uden and Rachel O'Malley before heading into the top of the order yet again. And Jeremy, what do you expect out of Betza in this inning? You think she continues the inconsistency, or maybe with less of a break on the bench?
Well, I've been wrong every time I predicted.
That's why I'm asking you.
So I'm going to say that she's going to be inconsistent. There you go. She's not going to find the strike zone, in the hopes that she proves me wrong yet again and does find the strike zone.
Jeremy Parks taking one for the team and catching on to the reason that I asked for a prediction, Jeremy. Not on his game so far today, but the Wolverines have been on theirs, at least at the plate so far. Sierra Lawrence getting jiggy with it out in center field, doing a little bit of a dance to Beyonce's Crazy in Love as it plays over the loudspeakers. Jeremy, I'm a little surprised you didn't join in, at least on the vocals there.
Well, you didn't see me, but I had a little shimmy going in there.
All right.
It's Friday.
Yeah, you got to get down on Friday. Jeremy flexed the old vocal cords, belted out a beautiful rendition of the national anthem just before we went live with the broadcast. It brought tears to my eyes.
Last week it was the Bee Gees and some Neil Diamond.
Yeah, it was
changes week by week.
Simply angelic. The first hitter for Indiana, Taylor Uden. The first pitch from Betza is a fastball just missed out of the zone high. Uden lets it go by for ball 1.
Morris and I are always happy to bring some humor when we call these softball games together, really forming a good battery of commentary over the last few months here.
At least we think so. The second pitch is grounded up the middle past a diving Ramirez for a base hit. Taylor Uden leading off with a single for the Hoosiers. The bottom of the lineup still pretty potent for Indiana, and that will bring up Rachel O'Malley, the third baseman.
Well, looks like my prediction was Someone right.
Jeremy finally,
Sadly.
a blind dog finds a bone sometimes. Jeremy has found his. Infield now a double play depth for the Wolverines as O'Malley stands tall in the box. The first pitch from Betza, off speed, swing and a miss. O'Malley chased that one out of the zone below the knees.
Let's just say we didn't take into account the law of averages, that at some point I would get something right.
Yeah, let's go with that. Betza ahead in the count, 0-1. Tried the same pitch, and this time O'Malley laid off. The breaking ball misses low and out of the zone away. The count even at 1-1. Over at first base, Uden is 2 of 3 on her stolen base attempts this year. This Indiana team, not one that runs frequently. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by O'Malley. Didn't look good on that swing. O'Malley struck out in her first at-bat, and her swings look very similar to that one. Count 1-2 on Rachel O'Malley, the freshman, hitting .273 on the year for the Hoosiers. Not a lot of pop in her bat. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. A strikeout for Betza. And that'll be the first out for the Wolverines here in the top of the fourth. First out for the Hoosiers, I should say. And that will bring up the center fielder, Rebecca Blitz.
Well, we're getting pretty close to that 200 mark, 200 notches in the glove of Megan Betza this season. In the K column, I think we're somewhere around 6 or 7 so far today. Oh, we are at 9. That was 200.
Now a quick bunt by Blitz is bobbled over there by Monte Morano, who's charging on the play. Tried to barehand. I don't know if she would have had a shot at Blitz over at first base anyway. She was going down the line, really blitzing down the line with a lot of speed. So the bunt hit puts runners on first and second with 1 out. And yeah, I guess we kind of missed that accomplishment. Megan Betza with 200 strikeouts on the season for the Wolverines.
She just records so many. I thought she had fewer.
Well, she's recorded 10 outs on the game, and 9 of those have been via the strikeout. So that'll bring up Erin Lehman with 2 on and 1 out. The first pitch to Lehman is a fastball below the knees, taken for ball 1. Lehman 1 for 2 on today's game. Had a single as part of Indiana's rally, I think back in the second inning. Betza looks in, readies. The 1-0 pitch to Lehman is a fastball at the knees for a called strike on the outer edge. That one, the kind of pitch where you just knew it was a strike all the way. Betza commanded that fastball with aplomb. Has done a good job of keeping the ball down in the zone in this inning, although she has given up some base runners. The 1-1 pitch now from Betza. Called strike 2 on the outer edge, about thigh high. Betza locating the fastball well. Sweet framing the pitches very well, and Betza ahead in the count on Lehman.
Sounds as though the Hoosiers bench affectionately refers to Erin Lehman as Lemur. Chance of Lemur coming throughout the field.
It's pretty clever. The 1-2 pitch now from Betza is swung on and popped over to second base. Romero settles under it, makes the easy catch, and now that's 2 outs for the Hoosiers. That will bring up the left fielder, Shannon Cawley.
I'm pretty sure lemurs like to jump from branch to branch. She jumped right from the batter's box back to the dugout. An easy out for Betza.
Also clever, Jeremy. Look at you with the connections. I'm really surprised you pulled that one off. Now Cawley steps in. She is 1 for 2 on today's game. Also had a hit as part of one of the innings where Indiana recorded a run. The first pitch from Betza is a fastball for a called strike on the outer edge.
No, Morris, if I didn't know you better, I'd be rather offended that you aren't adept to my cheekiness by now. We've been broadcasting these games together for months.
Yeah, it's just gone by so quickly. Time flies when you're having fun. 0-1 count now on Shannon Cawley. Betza looks in, readies, delivers. Swing and a miss on a fastball high. She climbed the ladder. Cawley a little bit tardy getting up there, and the count now 0-2 on Shannon Cawley.
Well, it's been few and far between in the instances in which the Hoosiers have chased the high cheese and up in the zone, but an occasional swing and miss there by Cawley.
The 0-2 pitch from Betza is swung on and missed. Another fastball on the outer edge. Betza with her 10th strikeout through 4 innings, and we will head to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Wolverines leading the Hoosiers 10-2. Just dynamite stuff again from Megan Betza, and you wouldn't expect anything different.
Well, you start to wonder at some point if she realizes that you can record outs if the ball comes off of the bat.
Well, you know.
Not necessary.
When possible as a pitcher, you want to take the game into your own hands, and outside of, hijacking somebody's spot in the lineup and grabbing a bat, Betza has done that so far today. lights out outside of the 2 runs that she's given up, which, I guess is a given. But when you record 10 strikeouts through 4 innings, you're doing something right.
Absolutely beautiful night still here. The sun starting to make its descent behind home plate as the field is basked in a lovely amber orange on this beautiful spring night here in Ann Arbor.
Jeremy breaking out the thesaurus. I like it. Getting all descriptive. That's what a color commentator is for.
Colorful. The sky is rather colorful at the moment.
There you go. A deep cerulean hue, or no, turquoise hue across the atmosphere right now.
Feeling rather transcendental.
Oh, my goodness.
Been reading Walden lately.
All right, so due up for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 4th. Leading off will be Tara Blanco. Blanco 1 for 2 on today's game.
That's going to be Rishvalski who's going to hit.
No, I think that's Blanco over there standing on the other side of the batter's box. She did get pinch run for earlier, but Blanco has substituted away.
Our resident statistician, the board, has incorrectly put Rishvalski then as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, it will be Blanco. She is in the batter's box ready to face Miranda Tamayo. Tamayo's given up only 1 run on the mound today. The first pitch, a fastball swung on and missed by Blanco. Big cut at that one on the outer edge. Good location there by Tamayo, getting ahead in the count. Tamayo through 1 2/3 innings has surrendered 3 hits and 1 run, which was unearned. The 0-1 pitch now to Blanco, off speed, taken low and away for ball 1. The count even at 1-1.
And Tamayo maintaining that solid stat line as the Wolverines really squandered a beautiful opportunity with bases loaded, none out in the last half inning, producing no runs.
1-1 pitch to Blanco, fastball just missed off the outer edge. Might have been a bit low as well. It was a transparent attempt by Dotson to frame that one on the outer edge. She did not fool Leah Bowen, who's been calling a tight zone all game. The count 2-1 on Tara Blanco. Tamayo readies, delivers. Blanco swings and lofts one high into relatively deep right field, but settling under that one is Huber, and she will make the routine play. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 4th.
Good rip there from Blanco, just a little bit short, got a little bit too much under it. Nothing really holding it up there either. No wind to carry out to right field, and just a few steps off the warning track there for the right fielder, Huber.
And that will bring up Aiden Falk. We've seen her a lot playing catcher for the Wolverines when Sweet went down with a bit of an injury. Falk 2 for 2 on today's game. Swings on the first pitch and grounds it foul down the first base line. Falk, in the designated player role on today's game, has really done her job.
She's 2 for 2.
With 2 RBI, and she's done a good job of working the counts as well. She has seen a lot of pitches in today's game. The 0-1 pitch now from Tamayo is a fastball taken high and out of the zone for ball 1.
It was really that first at-bat from Falk. She fell behind 0-2 in the count and then worked an 8-pitch at-bat in which she flared a single out to center field in that 10-run hammering of starting pitcher Laura Olson in the second.
Swings on the pitch and grounds it through the hole in the right side for a base hit. Aiden Falk on with her 3rd hit of the day. Found the hole between first and second. Got that by Cerrigos at first base before she could even flinch. And with 1 out, the Wolverines have 1 on. And that'll bring up Abby Ramirez.
Falk continues to impress. Her 3rd hit of the day, really trying to bump that average up above 300 to join the rest of the Wolverines lineup.
And I think that she already has done so. She was hitting 304 as of that last at-bat. Really doing well for her stats so far. Pinch running for her now is number 20, Mary Sabonik. At the plate now is Abby Ramirez. Ramirez 1 for 2 on today's game for the Wolverines. Tamayo ready on the circle, looks in, delivers the first pitch to Ramirez, who takes that one low out of the zone for ball 1. Jeremy flashing me a smile as he got down to Dr. Dre's The Next Episode as it played over the speakers.
Ramirez still adopting that running towards the mound as she receives the pitch method.
The 1-0 pitch to Ramirez is taken off the plate outside and has gotten her some success. It's a big reason why the infield has to play in, because she's already got a running start down to first base. And you can't doubt the approach when it's yielded the results that it has for the Wolverines shortstop. 2-0 count on Ramirez. To wind up the pitch, Sabonik heading down to second, and she will slide in. Not sure what happened on that play. They just sent Abby Ramirez down to first base. Perhaps catcher's interference? I'm not sure what the ruling is right now. The Indiana coach irate with the ruling.
We're going to have...
and it looks like Ramirez is headed back to home plate. Maybe she just walked down on a 2-0 count. And now it looks like they're also sending Sabonik back over to first base. Leah Bowen letting things get a little bit out of hand here. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on.
Everybody's confused. I don't think the home plate umpire, Leah Bowen, knows what's going on.
Yeah. I think what happened, and I might be corrected very soon, but I think what happened was on a 3-0 pitch, or on a 2-0 pitch, Sabonik took off for second base, and Ramirez started running down to first base. Maybe she thought the count was 3-0, and I think the catcher Dotson was fooled by it, didn't throw down to second base. And it looks like Sabonik will stay down there at second base. I think that's what happened, that Ramirez and Dotson, everybody got confused with the count.
Well, it will be Abby Ramirez staying in the batter's box after taking off down to first base. A little premature.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't been there as a baseball player? I know a few people who've headed down over to first base a little bit prematurely. Who doesn't want to get down to first base? It's fun to run the bases.
Well, the Wolverines have been doing plenty of base running here today with 10 runs, all of which coming in the second inning.
They are, I believe, playing Sierra Lawrence's walk-up song, but Ramirez will more than likely still be in the box. We still have yet to resume play here at Alumni Field. But on a 3-0 count, and now with Sabonik down at second base, I wouldn't be surprised if Ramirez draws a walk. Tamayo looking for a clarification from the home plate ump Bowen.
I think everybody's still a little confused as to what happened.
The sun is setting here and may become a factor for the Indiana fielders right now. It's glaring at us as we are outside down the right field line.
Coming towards our eyes here as we sit on the outside portion of the press box down the first base line, soaking up the rays.
Should set beyond the trees or beyond the big house pretty soon, though. The 3-0 pitch from Tamayo to Ramirez is a fastball for a called strike on the outside corner. The count now 3-1 on Abby Ramirez. Tamayo given, I guess, new life in this at-bat.
So just to set the scene, it is still going to be Sabonik on second base with Ramirez batting.
The 3-1 pitch is grounded on one hop over to third base, fielded by O'Malley. She tosses over to first, got Ramirez by a step, and Sabonik headed down to third on the throw to first and got there safely. Good heads-up base running there by Mary Sabonik. O'Malley gave her a look down at second base, but that's all she could do before throwing over to get Ramirez.
And with these short base paths, you can check down on second base as much as you want to, but the second your ball is out of your hand and over to first base, it's going to be really difficult to track down somebody as fast as Sabonik taking third.
That'll bring up Lawrence. She takes the first pitch, a fastball off the plate, inside for ball one. Lawrence is 1 for 3 on today's game. Had a fly ball double into left field in her last at-bat. Outfield has her shaded pretty deep. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball off the plate outside. The count now 2-0 on Lawrence. At least they have her shaded deep. Cauley has her shaded deep in left field, and center and right they're playing at more medium depths. The 2-0 pitch now from Tamayo to Lawrence is swung on and ripped down the left field line. Fair ball. That one's going to get into the corner. Lawrence rounds first, heads into second with her second stand-up double in as many at-bats. Sabonik scores from third base. That's textbook hitting there by Sierra Lawrence.
Textbook, and it was right down the third base line, bounced just a couple of inches inside the foul line. And lucky enough for Cauley, who was playing very deep, almost on the warning track in left field, she was already back there by the time the ball had reached the wall out in left field in the foul area where it had rolled to after tailing into the foul area after being ruled a fair ball. So limiting the damage there was Cauley.
And Rachel O'Malley's life must have flashed before her eyes over at third base. The first pitch to Sierra Romero, breaking ball off the plate low and away for ball one.
O'Malley has handled herself well at the hot corner today. One of the few Hoosiers that has not had a hiccup in the field.
Made a stellar play back in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch to Romero is a fastball. Missed inside for ball 2. Romero 1 for 3 on today's game. Had a 3-run homer back in that big 10-run second inning. That scoreboard remains mystifying for fans who were late arriving to this game, but Alumni Field has been pretty much packed from the get-go, so that's not many. The 2-0 pitch, a fastball, just misses low and away. The count now 3-0 on Romero. I don't think Romero will be given the green light here with 3-0 with Lawrence on second base. The 3-0 pitch, a fastball over the plate on the inside corner for strike 1.
Even if she had the green light, I don't think she would have swung on that.
Yeah, that one not exactly a hitter's pitch.
And Tamayo's still struggling to find the strike zone.
The 3-1 pitch to Romero, fastball off the plate inside. Romero twists out of the way and walks down to first base with a walk, boosting her .665 on base percentage. And that'll bring up Kelly Christner. Christner, one of the few hitless Wolverines on today's game. They have scored 11 runs on 9 hits. Christner, though, 0 for 1 with a walk.
Still ever dangerous is Christner, 17 home runs on the season.
First pitch from Tamayo, check swing, foul ball off of the fence near the Indiana Hoosiers dugout.
Christner looking to bring that RBI count up above 50. She currently sits at 48.
Tamayo looks in, readies the 0-1 pitch to Christner, off-speed pitch in there for a called strike at the knees. Delayed reaction there by
low
Bowen.
there.
Going up with the right hand.
Low in the zone. Apparently caught just the bottom edge. Enough for home plate umpire Leah Bowen to call it a strike.
Good location there on Christner, who was looking fastball. The 0-2 pitch now from Tamayo is swung on and skied a mile into the air. Coming in from third base to field the pop-up on the infield is Rachel O'Malley, and she will make the catch, and that'll do it for the Wolverines. In the 4th inning, they do get a run back on a line drive double down the left field line by Sierra Lawrence, and they will head into the top of the 5th, leading the Hoosiers 11-2. 1 run away from run rule territory here. No doubt Megan Betzo will get back out onto the circle right now, and maybe a singing competition.
Morris knows what time it is in the game. It's the start of the 5th inning. It's going to be Sweet Home Alabama. Big wheels keep on turning. I'd win this sing-off, Mo, if I was down there.
Okay, Jeremy.
One of the joyous times here at Alumni Field between the bottom of the 4th and top of the 5th. It's the sing-off.
One of the many, many joyous times here at Alumni Field. And while we know you might not appreciate Jeremy's golden voice, just know that the fans sitting in front of us appreciate it even less.
Well, nobody's tuned out yet, so we're doing all right.
Betza out on the circle has recorded 10 strikeouts through 4 innings. Looking to add to that here in this inning. Betza has been able to pitch her way out of a couple jams, and in ways that Indiana has not been able to, at least we're not able to back in the 2nd inning.
Sweet Home Alabama. It's infectious, Morris.
It's tough to resist. Oh, God.
Well, I got to tell you, Morris, I don't think I would have done much better. However, not the most impressive effort we've seen in the sing-off, but a winner nonetheless. Sweet Home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. The skies are blue here at Alumni Field as well tonight. This gorgeous spring night.
The clouds that may have obscured the sunlight have faded a little bit as we have gone on today, and truly a beautiful view from our vantage point down the first base line. Up to bat now is Kelsey Dotson for the Hoosiers against Megan Betza. Betza's first pitch, a fastball right down the heart of a plate for strike 1 on Dotson. Dotson 0 for 0 on today's game. Has walked a couple times. Had a bases loaded walk to drive and run earlier on the game. The 0-1 pitch from Betza to Dotson, a fastball off the plate outside. The count even at 1-1 on the junior Dotson.
Well, Indiana not in the run rule yet, but they definitely don't want to leave it in the hands of the Michigan Bats to end this game in the bottom of the 5th inning if they are to score another run. If Megan Betza does hold Indiana scoreless here in the top of the frame.
The 1-1 pitch is swung on and line foul down the first baseline. Blanco took a couple steps in the direction of that one, but it was already past her and hooking down toward the Wolverine bullpen. A hard hit strike there from Dotson leaves the count at 1-2. Dotson standing high, far up in the batter's box. Betts' 1-2 pitch, a fastball taken high out of the zone for ball 2.
Still some wiggle room for Betsa. See if she comes with something. I'm gonna venture a guess here. Off speed, perhaps a little bit low, and try and draw a swing here from Dotson.
Betsa ready's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball just off the plate away. Not able to find the zone there, and the count moves to 3-2 on Kelsey Dotson. You were half right. She at least
half right.
Got off the plate there, but
it was a slower fastball. Took a little bit off it.
The full count pitch from Betsa to Dotson. A fastball swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Megan Betsa. Spotted that one perfectly on the outer edge. And Dotson, a defensive swing, lunged after that one, unable to make contact. And Betsa once again recording an out via the K.
And contact with Betsa's heater is few and far between.
That will bring up, the first pitch is swung on and belted into deep center field. Lawrence tracking it down and making a catch on the run. That was Caitlin Canena at the plate. Couldn't even get out her name before she swung at that first pitch. And Lawrence with a nice play, making a catch on the run out there in deep right center field.
Definitely solid contact by Canena there, but Lawrence had it played from the get-go.
Bit of a get-it-over fastball by Betsa, and then able to make contact. And that'll bring up Michelle Huber, who swings at the first pitch, a high fastball, and fouls it back into the screen behind home plate. Indiana not looking quite as threatening in this inning as they have in some innings past. 0-1 count on Huber, who is 0 for 3 on today's game. Betsa winds and delivers the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball just off the plate outside. Crowd wanted the call. Lauren Sweet wanted the call, but they did not get the call, and the count is 1-1 now on Huber. Sweet turned and gave Leah Bowen a bit of a look. 1-1 count now. Betsa delivers, swing and a miss at a wicked breaking ball off the plate outside. Betsa again ahead in the count, and the crowd anticipating a strikeout, some rising to their feet, clapping their hands.
They talk about that last pitch dropping out of the zone. That really dropped out of the zone.
No floor on that one. The 1-2 pitch by Betsa. Cold strike 3 on the outside corner. Leah Bowen emphatically goes up with the right hand. And the 12th strikeout for Megan Betsa brings an end to the Indiana's top of the 5th inning.
That's game.
And yeah, that's game. 11-2 victory for the Michigan Wolverines. I guess I was a little unaware of the run rule. It's an 8-run lead that the Wolverines needed to win the game, not 10. And that'll do it here from Alumni Field. Megan Betsa with a dominant performance. The lineup with one dominant inning, and that was enough to take this victory. The opener in a 3-game weekend series against the Hoosiers. Jeremy, let's hear your final thoughts on today's game.
Well, it was inconsistent pitching from Betsa. I wasn't necessarily impressed as impressed as I have been in the past. Nonetheless, still a strong pitching performance from her. At times, she struggled to find the strike zone, but when she needed to, she came back and rifled those pitches in and got the strikeout she needed. And that was the difference for the Wolverines. She gave them the time that they needed, and they dropped a 10-piece on them in that bottom of the 2nd inning, and that was all they needed. They added one more on, and boy, my goodness, that was some kind of offensive performance in that 2nd inning, but enough for the Wolverines to get it done here tonight by run rule.
Yeah, an onslaught. The final line for Megan Betsa, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 walks, 1 earned run, given up 2 runs given up overall, and a whopping 12 strikeouts over 5 innings. Your offensive heroes for the Wolverines, Sierra Romero with the 3-run homer. Aiden Falk went 3 for 3. Tara Blanco had a 3-run, I believe, double. And Sierra Lawrence had a couple RBI for herself. Jeremy, who's your player of the game? Your player of the game sponsored by the Daily Sports Report.
I'd have to go with Sierra Romero with the 3-run shot, Mo. I think that was the momentum shift as the Wolverines were starting to look down as that rally was sort of losing some thunder. She brought it right back, and that really got them going again in the 2nd inning. And that's the reason that the Wolverines took this one as early as they did.
Sierra Romero's rocket into the late evening sky is a big part of why the Wolverines were able to win this one. Your final from Alumni Field, 11 for the Wolverines and 2 for the Hoosiers. And that's all we have for you today. For Jeremy Parks, I'm Morris Fabry. Thank you for listening to WCBN's coverage of Michigan softball. We'll be back with you tomorrow and Sunday with those games. But for today, I will leave you with a good night and a go blue.